Welcome back to the deep dive. Even if you've read Genesis 100 times, the Tower of Babel story in chapter 11, it often feels a bit, well, simple, doesn't it?
Right, like just a quick story explaining why we have different languages. Maybe a lesson about pride.
Exactly. Punishment for hubris.
Yeah.
But as you know, we love to peel back the layers here. Today we're diving into Genesis 11, specifically verses 5 to 10.
And what's hiding there is, well, it's way more than a simple moral.
Oh, yeah. It's an incredible piece of ancient writing packed with surprisingly humor, some really deep irony, and this fascinating divine plot twist, a redirection that often gets missed. So our mission today, we're basically putting on our linguistic detective hats, so we'll follow the clues in the original Hebrew to really get what's happening in this key moment. It's where human ambition really slams into divine purpose.
Yeah.
By the end, you'll see how clever wordplay, ancient puns even, unlock these timeless truths about us, about God's bigger plan. It really transforms the story.
It really does. And what's amazing is just how much the Hebrew adds. It's
Right.
not just, vocabulary.
Right.
It's the puns, the sounds, the way words echo each other. It makes the text just sparkle with meaning that you often lose in translation.
So these aren't just definitions, they're like theological coding.
Kind of. Yeah, like the story's DNA, revealing the author's genius.
Okay, let's unpack this. Verses 5 and 6. Humanity's united, building this massive city, this tower.
Right.
And the text says, behold, they are one people, and they all have one language. Now, one language sounds okay in English,
Pretty straightforward.
but the Hebrew is imad, one people, and japayev, one lip.
One rep. Yeah.
Not just language, one lip. What's that telling us?
Yeah.
This feels much stronger.
It totally is. It suggests this deep, almost total unity. Not just, hey, we speak the same, but we think the same, we say the same thing, like one single voice.
A unified utterance.
Wow. Exactly. It's this intense unity of purpose and expression. Imagine everyone literally on the same page, voicing the same ambition with, like, zero dissents.
That sounds powerful. Maybe even a little scary.
Well, that's where the next bit comes in. This is crucial. And now, nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them.
Nothing will be withheld. That sounds like limitless potential, but
Yeah.
is it good potential? What's the vibe on propose to do?
You're right to question it. The Hebrew verb is yazem. It can mean devise or plan,
Okay.
but often it means to scheme, to plot. There's an edge to it, like planning something self-serving, maybe even nefarious.
Okay. So it's not just, hey, let's build something cool together.
Not quite. The text suggests that this unified imagination, this yazem, is driving them towards something fueled by arrogance. Remember verse 4. Make a name for ourselves.
Right, Shem, make a name
Okay.
and stay put, basically.
Exactly. Centralize power, make their mark, instead of, filling the earth like they were told back in Genesis 1.
So God stepping in isn't about crushing teamwork. It's about this specific kind of unity, this Yazam-fueled drive for glory.
Precisely. It's heading down a bad road. It's a subtle but really important distinction.
So is God reacting out of fear, like, oh no, they're getting too powerful? Or is it something else?
That's a really good question. And it's easy to misread it that way. But the text doesn't paint God as, threatened. If anything, it's showing divine insight, care almost. The intervention is protective for humanity, actually, and for the bigger plan.
Protective how?
Well, think about it. Unchecked, unified arrogance, especially when it's trying to define itself apart from the creator, that usually ends badly. Self-destruction, right? Imagine a single, powerful human collective, maybe even tyrannical, where nothing they propose to do will be withheld. That's potentially terrifying.
I see that.
So God's response isn't just zap, you're punished. It's corrective. It's redemptive in a way. Setting boundaries so humanity can actually flourish and making sure his original purpose for creation doesn't get totally derailed.
So the key is that this specific kind of unity, driven by Yazam, was actually leading them away from flourishing.
Exactly. That really sets the stage for what happens next.
Right. So humanity's unified in this, let's call it precarious ambition, building their monument to themselves. What does God do? Verse 7 gives us the big shift. Come, let us go down and confuse their language there.
And this is where the wordplay just takes off its brilliant, ancient literary satire at its finest.
Okay, lay it on us.
The Hebrew verb for confuse is balal, B-A-L-A-L. It means to mix, to muddle, to confuse.
Balal.
Now listen to the sound. Balal. What does that sound like?
Babel.
Exactly, Babel. The name of the city itself, it comes directly from the word for confuse.
No way.
Yes, they wanted to make a name a Shem for themselves, right? Build this monument to their eternal glory.
Yeah.
And the name that sticks. The name history gives their project Balal. Confusion. It's a divine pun on their ambition. Mix-up town. Confusion central.
Wow, that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
In a deeply ironic way. They aim for eternal fame, and their name literally means muddle.
It's a total mic drop moment in the text. All that effort, all that pride, summed up by Balal. Confusion.
Glorious Shem becomes divine Balal.
And there's another layer. Get this. The actual name of the city, in Akkadian, the language of the empire there, Babilu.
Babilu, what did that mean?
It meant gate of the god or gate of the gods. Very grand, right? Declaring cosmic importance, divine connection. Babylon, center of the world.
Okay, yeah. Imperial branding 101.
But the biblical author just twists it, ignores the imperial hype. Instead of gate of the god, nope, it's Babel. Confusion.
That's savage. Taking their proud name and turning it into a critique.
It's like ancient meme warfare, just completely undercuts their pride with this single, brilliant, biting pun. Their effort to build a monument to their Shem, their name, gets overruled. Their legacy becomes Balal. Confusion. A divine critique baked into the very name.
Okay, so the languages are confused. Balal was the immediate result. Verse 8 tells us. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth. The Hebrew verb is pu, P-U-T-S. Means to scatter, disperse. Now, again, on the surface, feels like punishment, right?
Yeah.
Get out.
It does feel that way initially, but like you said earlier, connect back to the beginning.
Genesis 1, the creation mandate.
Exactly. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth.
Ah. And they weren't doing that. They were doing the opposite.
Totally. Clumping together, building one big power center,
Yeah.
defying that core command to spread out, steward the whole planet.
So God hitting the scatter button, it's not just you're grounded.
It's enforcing the original design, a cosmic course correction, making sure his plan for creation, that the whole earth gets filled, gets cared for, actually happens.
It's a huge reframe.
Well,
so it looks like judgment is actually purposeful redirection.
Yes.
Not just stopping the bad thing,
Yeah.
but pushing them towards the good thing they were supposed to be doing anyway.
Exactly. It's ensuring God's big picture plan moves forward.
So how do we tell the difference,
Yeah.
in life
Yeah.
between something that feels like punishment and something that might be this kind of redirection? It can feel messy.
That's a deep question. I think the clue is often in the outcome. And while God's overall character in Scripture, punishment focuses on the consequence of the wrong action.
Okay.
Redirection, even if it feels hard or painful, it usually has this underlying purpose that's actually aiming for flourishing, aligning with God's original good design.
So the scattering, it doesn't destroy them.
Right, it distributes them. To fulfill the command they were resisting, it actually kickstarts the populating of the globe.
Wow.
It shows a God who doesn't just give up when things go sideways. He works with and even through our choices and their consequences to steer things back towards his good purposes.
So the scattering wasn't just punitive, it was purposeful reorientation, redirecting them back to the mission.
You got it. Making sure his design wins out in the end.
Okay, so after this dramatic scattering, this global reset, where does the story go? Genesis 11, verse 10. There's a shift.
A big word.
It says, these are the generations of Shem. That phrase in Hebrew, Sali Toledi, it pops up a lot in Genesis, right? Like chapter markers.
Exactly like chapter markers, Elitoledu. It consistently signals, okay, new section starting here, a new lineage, a new focus, and its placement here, right after Babel. It's incredibly significant.
Why right here? What's the impact?
Well, think about the shift in perspective. It's like the camera zooms out for Babel, all humanity, global chaos, scattering everywhere, wide angle. Then bam. Verse 10. The camera zooms way, way in, narrow focus. It shifts from all that human rebellion and confusion.
To one guy's family tree.
Pretty much. To God's quiet, steady faithfulness, working through one specific line, Shem. This isn't just a boring list of names.
Okay.
This is the path, the narrative thread that leads straight to Abraham, to the covenant, to the whole redemption story.
So it contrasts human chaos with divine focus.
It's a stark contrast. Human striving for glory leads to Balal, confusion, and Pul, scattering. God's plan moves quietly, purposefully, through Koledu, through generations, towards calling and blessing.
So this pattern emerges. Human pride leads to confusion and scattering, but God keeps steering the ship, quietly working through one family line. Does that mean God prefers, like, the small scale over the big spectacle?
That's a fascinating takeaway. It does seem to be God's pattern, doesn't it? Humans get obsessed with the big, the monumental, the collective. Let's make a name for ourselves.
Yeah, build a tower.
Right. But God often works through the seemingly small, the overlooked, a single family, an individual call. The huge drama of Babel gives way to just tracing Shem's line. It shows God's ultimate plan doesn't depend on our impressive structures or unified, prideful efforts. It depends on his faithfulness to his chosen path, his chosen people, through whom blessing eventually flows out to everyone.
So the focus shifts from human attempts to build glory from the ground up to God working his plan down through generations.
Beautifully put, the narrative pivots right there. After the scattering, it signals God's persistent work through a single lineage. His plan unfolds through faithfulness, specific calling, not through, towers built on ambition.
And linking it all up, those Hebrew words we looked at.
Yeah.
Balal for confuse, Puth for scatter, and then Toli for generations. They're not just words.
No way.
They're like theology compressed into sounds. A roadmap showing human pride leads to confusion and dispersion, while God's design keeps moving patiently towards calling and blessing through that chosen line. It's intricate.
It really is. A beautiful, intricate design indeed.
So there you have it, a deep dive into Genesis 11.5:10. And hopefully you see now it's way more than just a simple story. It's this masterclass in satire, irony, and this profound divine redirection.
Yeah, we saw how the human attempt to make a Shem, a name, through ambition led straight to Balal, confusion.
But even that confusion, that Balal and the resulting poo, the scattering, it wasn't the end. It actually served God's bigger plan to fill the earth.
Right, and we saw how the scheming of Yazam and the chaos of Balal and Puth set the stage perfectly for the pivot to Toliju, the generations of Shem.
Showing God's faithfulness, his purpose moving forward, even when humans are trying to build their own thing.
Exactly, even in the face of rebellion.
So the story of Babel, it kind of reminds us, doesn't it, that even when our human plans, maybe driven by pride, maybe just misguided, seem to fall apart or lead to confusion, there might be a deeper redirection happening, something quiet, guiding things towards a larger, maybe unseen purpose.
That's a powerful thought. What does that mean for us when we feel scattered, confused, when our own towers crumble?
Yeah. Could our own times of, let's call it personal babble, our own chapters of confusion, actually be part of a bigger story, a redirection we don't fully see yet?
It really makes you think.
It poses that question for all of us, I think. Are we building our own towers, trying to make our own name? Or are we trying to find our place in something much bigger, something aligned with a design that wants flourishing for everyone, not just our own glory?
Something to definitely ponder.
Indeed. Something to ponder as you go about your week. Until next time, keep digging deeper.